and I'm a sergeant with the Orange County Sheriff's Office.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court? Sir, how long have you been with the Orange County Police Department?
Since 1981.
And as in that capacity as a sergeant, were you the supervising sergeant in this case?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
Sergeant, I'm going to show you what's been marked as defendants F, D, and FE, and ask you to recognize those items.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And were you asked to bring them to court with you today?
Actually, I was asked while I got here to have them brought here, so I contacted somebody in forensics and asked them to deliver them here.
What are those items, sir?
The one with that's marked 4W073 is two videotapes. These videotapes, we received them from Mr. James Hoover when we interviewed him in the parking lot of a Publix on December the 18th, 2008. The other envelope contains a single videotape that we received from Mr. Hoover when we interviewed him at the law office of Bill Schaefer with his attorney, John Ligori, on January the 7th, 2009.
Now, you obviously have had a chance to review all three of those tapes, is that right?
Yes, ma'am. It's been some time, but I looked at them. We actually had them transferred to a disk, and we looked at them.
All right. What format are those original tapes in?
I think I told you outside they were 8 or Super 8. I'm not real familiar with video, but they're marked mini DV videotape.
And under your supervision as the supervising sergeant in this case, were they copied to compact disc?
Yes, ma'am. I took them to our training section. We have an AV specialist over there, and I had him transfer them to a CD.
And may I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
Sir, let me show you what's been marked as a composite exhibit FC for identification. Are those compact discs then prepared, are identical to the original disc that you received from Mr. Hoover in December of 2008 and January of 2009?
I didn't receive discs from him. I received the tapes and then had them copied to DVD. I believe these DVDs are copies of the tape. I believe they're copies of copies that were made at the state attorney's office.
Correct. And are they identical to the original tape that you received from Mr. Hoover?
As they're marked, I assume so, because one of them is marked Parade, which would be one video that Mr. Hoover told us that he had taped over when we first spoke with him. The other one says Bad Color Search, so I'm assuming that one is the one he said where he began to take the search and then stopped and looked at it and realized it had some sort of strange tint to it. And then the other one is that says Search Woods and House. I'm assuming is the one that we got from him later when he called us to tell us to actually give us the tape that he did not give us on December the 18th.
And you were aware today that those discs were being prepared for this case
Yes,
by the
ma'am,
state attorney's office today?
Yes, ma'am. We spoke outside, and I believe Ms. Drain-Burdick said she would have them brought over. Initially, I thought they were bringing the disc we copied them to. They only brought the tapes, and so these are the state's copies of the state's copy that we had provided them when we submitted the package.
Thank you, sir. No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Thank you. Sergeant Allen, this James Hoover individual
Yes, ma'am.
is somebody who was affiliated with another person by the name of Dominic Casey, correct?
Yes, ma'am, he was.
Okay, and you knew Dominic Casey from the inception of this case to be an investigator with Mr. Jose Baez, correct?
Overruled.
Yes, ma'am, I knew Dominic Casey. Initially, I believe he was hired by the defense or was working for Mr. Baez, and then later worked for the Anthony family.
Okay. Is it your understanding that Mr. Casey worked for Mr. Baez's law firm from July of 2008 until early October of 2008?
Yes, ma'am.
That he was not employed necessarily by anybody, again, until he became affiliated with the Anthony family, George and Cindy Anthony, into November and afterwards of 2008.
I believe he was working for Mr. Baez. I don't know that he was being paid. There was some argument over that, I believe, but my understanding was that he was working as a member of the defense team up until the time they had a falling out, and then he continued to stay on the case and worked for the Anthony family.
All right. Well, Mr. Hoover was not somebody that you had been dealing with since close to the beginning of the investigation. That was Dominic Casey, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And yes, Mr. Casey was an individual who would email information to you regarding the location of a live Caylee Anthony for many months, correct?
Yes, ma'am. We went back and forth with them during the search for her and also the search for the original suspect, Zanny the nanny.
Now, Mr. Hoover came to your attention because he was trying to sell these videos to some sort of media outlet, correct?
Yes, ma'am. I believe we first heard he was trying to sell them to the National Enquirer.
Right. And at some point, you either intervened or he came to your attention.
Well, we heard from Mr. Hoover on the 18th of December when he wanted us to talk to a woman who had been who'd reported to be driving down the road and just had seen a trash bag in the woods. And so we went and met.
I'm going to object any out-of-court statements made by Mr. Hoover to this witness.
Sustained.
Now, you had testified that originally 2 videotapes were turned over to the Orange County Sheriff's Office on 12/18/2008.
Yes, ma'am. They were turned over to me in the parking lot of the Publix when Special Agent Nick Savage from the FBI and myself interviewed Mr. Hoover.
Was it your understanding that these videotapes were supposed to have all of the information that Mr. Hoover possessed that was relevant to your investigation?
Sustained.
You later found out that there was additional evidence in Mr. Hoover's possession or an additional tape, correct?
Sustained.
Did you receive another tape at a different point in time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You've reviewed that tape?
Yes, ma'am.
That tape contained information different than the 2 tapes that were originally provided to the Orange County Sheriff, correct?
Yes, ma'am, it did.
Did Mr. Hoover ask you all for any money?
Excuse me, objection. Here's a response from out-of-court statement.
Well, overruled as to that question.
I don't believe he ever asked us for money. He complained. Sorry.
Question calls for a yes or no answer.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Redirect.
Sir, you were talking about some dates and times regarding Dominic Casey. You indicated, I believe, that it was your understanding that he originally was doing some work for the Baez law firm.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know the exact date of the termination?
I believe it was if you have the transcript of our interview with him, he did tell us, I believe it was in October.
October 1.
Of 2000, Yes, ma'am, of 2008.
Okay, October 1, 2008. And the information you have on that, it's not personal knowledge, it's information that you received from Mr. Casey himself, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, and it was on October 1st then that Mr. Casey began working directly with Cindy and George Anthony?
I don't recall the specific date in October of 2008. I do recall from the interview with Mr. Casey that it was in October. It was either October 1st or October 30th. It seems it was at the beginning or the end of a month, but
Okay.
I don't recall the specific date.
But once again, that would be information that you received from Mr. Casey.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't have any personal knowledge of that.
No, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. No further questions, Your Honor.
May the sergeant be excused?
He may, Your Honor. No objection.
Thank you, Sergeant Allen. You may be excused, sir. Hand those exhibits back to the clerk.
James Hoover, James Hoover.
Mr. Hoover, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is your occupation?
Licensed private investigator.
And when did you first get involved in this case?
July 2008.
Okay. And in what capacity?
As a private citizen, basically.
Okay. How does a private citizen get involved in this case?
My youngest son asked me to help Jordan's.
Don't tell us.
Sorry.
Don't tell us about what other people have told you. Just
Take your time and speak a little slower so the court reporter can hear you, sir.
Sorry.
you were involved in this case as a private investigator.
Well, I'm a licensed private investigator, but I went down as a private citizen.
Okay. And did you eventually become a private investigator for someone in this case?
I provided services a private investigator would normally provide, yes.
For who?
George and Cindy Anthony.
Okay. And when did you begin this?
I think it was right around the end of August, beginning of July. Beginning of August, end of July.
And how did you do this? You knocked on the door? Or how did this come about?
Just basically went down, volunteered my service to Mr. Anthony while he was in the front yard, and I just introduced myself, told him I was a private investigator, and offered my assistance.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Slow it down a little bit.
Okay.
I know you're a little nervous, but slow it down a little
No,
bit.
I just always talk fast.
Okay, Mr. Hoover. So they accepted?
Oh, yes, sir.
And what kind of things did you do for George and Cindy Anthony?
Primarily, just came down in evenings, and there was a lot of harassment going on in front of their house, and just basically kept the people harassing them away, like a buffer.
Okay. Did you act as a bodyguard of sorts?
Pretty much.
Okay. And did you also assist them in following up any tips?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did you do this in conjunction with a man by the name of body.Casey?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And is it your understanding that body.Casey was working a short period for the defense?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. And then there was a falling out?
Yes, sir.
And then at that point, he began to work exclusively for George and Cindy Anthony.
That's my understanding, yes, sir.
And then ultimately worked with you. The two of you worked kind of like a team.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, in following up with these tips, were they always for a live Caylee?
I only ever followed one tip with him.
Okay. And that was the tip that you followed up in November 14th, 2008.
I didn't know about the tip until November the 15th.
Okay, November 15th. And can you tell us what you did?
Beginning when I met Mr. Casey that day.
Yes.
Excuse me. Yeah, I met him at his office about 8:15, and he asked me to come inside. And I went inside. He told me he had something to tell me, and I asked him what it was, and he told me. Hold
on, don't tell us what he told you. Just tell us what you guys did. Tell us what you guys did, not what he told you.
We left his office and I went down to, I believe it's Suburban Drive, and proceeded to.
Let me stop you there. Where were the two of you scheduled to go that morning?
He had called me the night before and invited me to provide security with him for George and Cindy at a meet and greet at a spot in Orlando.
Okay. So you were supposed to go with him to a meet and greet with George and Cindy Anthony.
Yes, sir.
And apparently a detour came along.
Yes, sir.
And where were you detoured to?
Well, initially, like I said, I met him at his office. Then we went to Suburban Drive. Okay, then proceeded to look for Caylee.
Okay. Was she supposed to be standing off Suburban Drive?
No, sir.
Okay, where was she supposed to be?
I believe in the wooded area and deceased.
Okay. And did you videotape this search?
Yes, sir. Not all of it, but a lot of it, yes.
Okay. May I approach the witness?
You may.
I'd like to show you what's listed as Defense Composite FC. Now, you've had an opportunity to review these items, have you not, sir?
I had my originals, not the copies.
Right, and you had, the originals were on a
Tape.
from your video camera, I will show you Defense FE and FD.
Yeah, look inside these. Yeah.
Take a peek inside there and see if you recognize those items.
Well, it's not labeled, but it looks like one of the tapes that I turned over.
Okay, what about the other?
Yeah, again, it looks like one of the tapes I turned over, but not labeled by me.
Okay. And as it relates to composite FC, someone from my staff is giving you the opportunity to review these tapes, right?
No, sir. I saw just a couple minutes of one.
Does it fairly and accurately depict the video that you took with Dominic Casey?
The first 20 seconds of it did.
Okay. And Judge, at this time, we would move Defense FC into evidence, unless there's any objection.
What says the state?
No objection to the first 20 seconds.
All right, Judge.
Just a second. Is it longer than the first 20 seconds?
Yes, sir.
Approach.
It's approximately 2 minutes.
Members of the jury, there's going to be a brief legal matter we need to take up outside of your presence. We'll get back with you as quickly as possible. Okay, has he had an opportunity to look at both tapes?
Yes, he's looked at it.
And I take it he can authenticate both tapes.
Yes, you can. Well, I can ask him right now to make sure we're
No,
good.
I just want to be sure.
Mr. Hoover, you're having an opportunity to see the tape.
Yes, sir.
CD is a fair and accurate representation of what
Yes,
it
sir.
depicts.
Okay, let's return to jury. Okay, state recognized presence of the jury. Defense?
Yes, sir, we do.
You may continue.
Mr. Hoover, have you had an opportunity to review the tape?
Yes, sir.
And is it a fair and accurate representation of what it depicts?
Yes, sir.
Judge, at this time, we would move defense, I think, FC into evidence.
What says the state?
No objection.
Be received in evidence as defense exhibit number.
Number 62.
Mr. Hoover, this tape was videotaped 1 month before Caylee's remains were found.
Approximately, yes.
And did Mr. Casey know you were videotaping him?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. And, Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to publish the tape to the jury.
You may publish.
Let's make sure. Okay. Yeah. Where is this location, sir?
Suburban Drive.
Okay. And where exactly in relation to where Caylee was eventually found is this?
The first couple,
Are you aware of
Sustained.
Eventually where Caylee Marie Anthony's remains were found?
yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to wait till we get a better photo, but I'm going to stop and ask you if you can identify the general vicinity. Let's stop. Can we go back a little bit? Right there. There. Can you identify from this area the general vicinity of the wooded area where Caylee was found?
Would you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
Can you identify from this photograph the general vicinity of where Caylee was found?
Yes, sir.
Where? Can you indicate on your screen? Just touch it. It has a marking. If you touch the screen, it'll highlight it.
You want me to mark where I believe she was found?
Yes, where you believe she was eventually found.
Objection to the defendant's, the witness's belief as to where the remains were found, as opposed to his personal knowledge.
Sir, on December 11th, did you watch news reports of the area of where Caylee was eventually found?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And can you compare what you saw to what you're looking at now?
Yeah, it appeared that she,
The foundation, Your Honor, this witness has no personal knowledge of the exact location where the remains were found. His knowledge based on news reports or what somebody else told him is improper.
I did not ask the witness for the exact location, Judge. I asked the general vicinity.
Objection sustained. You can ask him where he searched.
Okay. Where, well, we'll go ahead. Where in this area did you search?
well, initially, we walked the length of Suburban Drive from where my car's parked at this point, well, all along there and looked in. We were looking for pavers, and specifically we're looking for 3 pavers. And we, like I say, we walked along the road there. I think there's like 5 poles there, and we walked the length of 4 of them, starting at Hope Spring, then going down towards the school.
Is there a long wooded privacy fence right around here? Long wooded fence from the home there.
Oh, okay, yes,
Okay. And how far, Hope Spring Drive would be right over here, would it not?
yes, sir.
Okay. So did you search from the fence all the way over?
Not quite to the fence, probably closer to the first pole there.
Okay. Let's go ahead and play.
Anthony Casey and James Hoover of DNA Crime Investigations, Longwood, Florida.
And what is this location that we're at now?
This is, I guess, probably about 2 or 3 blocks away, just on the other side of a fence. If you went in a direct line, you couldn't because there are fences there, probably within 50 yards, 60 yards of where I initially parked my car. It was about 50 to 60 yards from where I had parked my car initially, as you just saw.
And why are you looking in black plastic bags?
Well, Mr. Casey said that,
Don't tell us what he said to you. What are you looking for in black plastic bags?
he was looking for Caylee's remains.
Is that a plastic bag right there? Yep.
That's not it. Let me stop you there. Where is this wooded area, sir?
We had left that house and went back to the wooded area right there off of Suburban. We had entered in close to where you had seen Dominic earlier on the film, or the video.
Okay.
Plastic bag right here. Plastic bag right here.
How far into the woods are you here?
At this point,
Concrete stone pavers.
probably about 15 feet.
And what is that Mr. Casey just lifted up?
This is a blanket that we found initially.
That's more like a bath.
What kind of blanket?
I'm not sure. It's a small blanket. It's small.
Is that fender? See that fender?
Yeah.
Now, is this the next day?
Yes, sir. This is the second day. It's November 16th.
And is Hope Spring Drive behind you guys or in front of you guys?
Hope Spring is behind us. I had parked down on the side where Caylee's remains were found, closer to where she was eventually found. It's my car parked right there. I'm just getting some stuff out of the trunk.
So is this your car?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you're saying you were parked right next to where Caylee's remains were found?
Down a little bit. Down.
Objection, Your Honor. The witness has no personal knowledge. Move to strike the question from counsel.
Objection sustained.
How far away from the privacy fence are you here parked right now?
Well, I was basically going by the number of poles. I guess there are utility poles there. And I believe there were 5, and I parked right at about third pole down.
Okay. Now, I'd like to show you fence 57.
Your Honor, I object because of the markings that are already on the drawing.
This witness.
Let me see it. Okay, what's the exhibit number? Just have it marked.
May I publish to both the jury and the witness, Your Honor?
It's published to the witness, I believe. You can publish to the jury.
Thank you, sir.
It's up.
Mr. Hoover, do you see Hope Spring Drive right here
Oh, yes, sir.
and Suburban Drive right here?
Yes, sir.
I guess this street here. Can you point to where, and do you see the privacy fence here?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay. Can you show the ladies and gentlemen of the jury where you parked your car the second day?
Second day?
Yes.
Right here.
And can you also show us where the areas where you searched both the first and the second day?
Okay, I don't know how far looking for the poles is kind of like as a marker for myself.
I'm going to zoom out a little bit to give you a better. Just draw a circle of the areas that you think you covered.
Without actually knowing where those poles are, it would be hard.
Okay. All right, why don't we start from where you parked? In the video, you indicated that you parked right there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, we'll continue. And how far would you say you are from the privacy fence there?
I don't know, 75 feet maybe, 100 feet tops.
Okay. I'd like to continue playing the video if I can.
Here it is, right here.
Let's go. Did you just see that fallen tree that was there, sir? Back it up slightly.
Back it up a little bit. I see the papers that we were looking for. This is one of the sites that we're trying to find.
That right there.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Did you search around that area?
Oh, yeah. It's right on the video.
Okay.
It's right there on the video.
Okay, go on.
There's 3 cinder blocks right there.
It wouldn't be right here. It'd be into the going.
Okay, I'll follow you. There's 3 more over there. That's over there.
Yeah, bearing. Find it with the stomach.
Careful.
It ain't here.
What is Mr. Casey doing with that
He was-
rod?
excuse me, he was probing, thought her remains might have been buried. He was probing for remains.
We're getting a little shovel.
Too many roots.
Are you now back at that house?
Yes, sir. 1, 2, 3.
Is that a conclusion of the video, sir?
I believe so.
Now, I'd like to show you again defense FF and have you mark on the map where you parked that second day. May I approach the witness?
You may.
This is Hoover Spring, that's Suburban. And there's the fence. Can you please put an X where you parked your car
Okay,
that
where's,
second day? If this is Hope Spring Drive,
Okay.
this is Suburban, this right here is the privacy.
okay, this is a school here?
Yes.
Okay.
Indicating to the witness what's where.
Mr. Baez,
It's just giving them generalities.
objection sustained, don't continue to do that.
Yes, sir. Okay. Can you place your name up here? And date it.
Today's the 28th. What's today's date? 27th.
Okay. May I publish, Your Honor?
You may. You gotta switch document source.
Judge, at this time, I introduce defense exhibit FF into evidence.
What says the state? No objection. Be received in evidence, the state's numbered, defense numbered.
Defense number 63.
Does that fairly and accurately depict where you marked the car?
Yeah, I believe so, yes, sir.
And you went out there 2 days in a row with Mr. Casey?
Yes, sir, 15th and 16th November.
Did you go any other days with him there?
Yes, sir.
Did you report to George and Cindy Anthony what you found or didn't find there?
No, sir, not at the time.
Okay. And I'd like to show you another map, if I may. Defense 57. The location where it says abandoned house, does that accurately depict where that abandoned house was?
Yeah, yeah, there's a pond right there behind it, yeah, yeah.
Your Honor, may I publish this to the jury?
What's the exhibit number?
57.
You may publish.
And you went, Mr. Hoover, you went to both of these locations 1 month before Caylee was found.
Yes, sir.
Now, on December 11th, 2008, after you found out that Caylee was found at these locations or nearby, did you notify law enforcement of this tape that you had?
No, not at that time.
And why didn't you do that?
Well, because initially I didn't think there was anything on it, and my son, I have a young son who was at a Christmas parade, and I thought I had videotaped over it.
Eventually, you found out that you did have the videotape, did you not?
Yes, sir.
And you attempted to sell it, did you not?
No. Well, not quite true. It was suggested that, I told that no, not that tape, no.
Okay, that's a bit confusing.
The
your
tape, the
answer.
tape, the tape that I had videotaped over, that I thought was the original tape, it was suggested to me that it could be the original tape, the original film from being in the woods could be brought up, okay? And that one, it was suggested by a famous bounty hunter.
Don't tell us.
Okay. Just anyway, that the tape might be worth something. But found out that nothing could be brought up. But when I found the original tape, no, that was never for sale. Never.
But eventually, you attempted to sell something. Well, the Anthonys entrusted you into their inner circle, did they not?
Yes, sir.
They trusted you.
Yes, sir.
And you had potential evidence in this case, which you eventually tried to sell, did you not?
What you're referring to is some photographs that downt.Casey had. He had, I think it was on December around December the 18th, I think. I think it was the 18th. I'm not sure. No, it's all right. 11th or 12th, maybe. It was right around when they found her. He told me he had taken some still shots, and I remember him having the camera there. And everybody was pretty broke at that time, right before Christmas. And he told me he had some, and that he'd be willing to sell them.
Sustained.
Don't tell us what people said.
Okay, sorry.
But are you suggesting that you and Dominic Casey were going to sell these photographs and video?
No, downt.Casey was going to supply photographs to be sold.
Okay. But you actually tried to sell this video to Fox News, did you not?
Yeah.
Okay. And why did you do something like that?
Well, let's see, everybody was broke. I had income, but Dominic was broke. The Anthonys were broke.
Speak slowly, sir.
I'm sorry. Anyway, just basically for the funds, and I was going to give it to Dominic and the Anthony family. I didn't need it.
Are you suggesting that you were going to give the money to the Anthony family?
Yeah, I didn't need it.
I'm sorry?
I did not need it.
You didn't need it, but you were going to sell it to them anyway, or give them the money anyway.
Sure.
Did you do it on their suggestion?
No.
You were doing this out of the kindness of your own heart.
Well, that kindness in my heart, but it's just I knew people who needed it more than I did.
You didn't think that it might be more valuable to law enforcement as opposed to Fox News?
The photographs?
The video.
We're not talking about the video. We're talking about the photographs from downt.Casey.
I'm talking about the video, sir. You didn't give them this video, did you, sir?
Yeah, I did give it to them.
Okay. You gave them this video that we just finished watching.
I gave them 2 videos. On December, I guess it was December 11th, I met John Allen and Nick Savage at a parking lot, and I gave them the videos I had in my car and in my cell phone, and wherever else I had in my car. Okay, and that was a tape that I believe that was the original tape that had been taped over with my son's Christmas parade. I gave that to him. I think it was December 11th or the 12th.
Did you lie to law enforcement when they asked you for the video and you gave them something else?
No.
So it's your testimony, sir, that the first video you gave them was not this video, it was another video that you thought was this video.
Yes, sir.
And then, isn't it true, sir, that you tried selling this video in between before you gave it to law enforcement?
You're talking about the one I had given to John Allen? I had inquired if it could be brought up. If the original film could be brought up, yes.
Sir, I'm
But it
not
could
playing-
not, but it could not be brought up, so it was useless.
I want to be as clear and as straight as possible.
Okay?
You met with law enforcement at the Publix in the parking lot.
Yes, sir.
You didn't give them this video that we just showed the jury.
I didn't have that video at that time.
You gave them another video
I gave 'em a couple-
purporting.
I gave 'em a couple of videos.
Let me finish the question. You gave them another video purporting to be this video. Correct.
I gave them a couple, I think I gave them 2, possibly 3 videos, okay? The one that I thought I taped over, okay, was one of the 2, yes.
And none of those 2 videos that you gave law enforcement the first time was this video.
No, but one of the videos had some of this information on it, yes. I had 2 cameras that day, and the first camera malfunctioned, and they got that video.
And before you gave them this actual video,
Mm-hmm.
you tried selling it to Fox News.
No,
What was the negotiation that you were trying to get for the video? How much did you want for it?
listen, this video wasn't available until the end of December, okay?
Whenever it was available, how
Let
much
me-
did you
let me
try to
finish.
sell it
I
for?
did not contact anybody, okay, on the video that I gave John Allen and Nick Savage at Mr. Schaefer's office.
My question to you, sir, is how much did you try to sell this video for?
There was never a price. I had somebody told me it was worth a lot of money, okay?
Did you ever try to negotiate to sell this video for $50,000?
No,
Did you ever have a price?
I don't think so. I had somebody who told me what it was worth, or allegedly what it was worth.
And what was the value of this video?
Well, knowing this person a little bit, well, it says it was worth $200,000.
$200,000.
Yes, sir.
And did you make any money off this video?
No, sir.
If I can have just a moment, Judge.
Mike?
And then in December, okay, I'm going through a bunch of tapes. I carry 2 cameras when I work. I have a bunch of tapes. The ones that you have in evidence, if you notice, there's no tags on them to describe what's on them, okay? And when I was going through some blank tapes what I thought were blank tapes, I came across that tape. And I immediately got in touch with the attorney who got in touch with law enforcement, and I turned them over.
All right, well, the 2 tapes that had next to nothing on them were turned over on December 18th of 2008, correct?
Okay.
After you had already tried to get John Allen and Nick Savage to talk to some strange woman who supposedly was on Suburban Drive as well, correct?
Well, that's what she told me.
You're trying to get them to talk to this woman, correct?
No, I
On
didn't try
December
to talk-
18th of 2008, right?
I didn't try to. This lady was down there looking for,
Hearsay.
Sustain.
You are introducing Nick Savage and John Allen to this other person, correct?
no, she introduced herself. She followed me down to meet Nick Savage and John Allen.
All right. And that was that same day that you turned over the worthless videotapes to law enforcement, correct?
The tapes, yeah.
Okay. And it wasn't till 2 to 3 weeks later that you found the tape in the woods. Is that correct?
Sure.
All right. So then January 7th of 2009, you're contacted and you turn over what we saw, correct?
No, what do you mean I was contacted?
You were contacted by law enforcement.
No, I contacted them through an attorney.
Okay. After you tried to get some money from
Wrong
somebody
again.
else.
Let's do this again. That tape
No,
was never
sir.
for sale.
Wait,
After you
just
tried
a
to,
second. Wait until you finish hearing the question before there's an answer. The court reporter cannot take down when both parties are talking. Question.
is it your testimony that you were trying to sell the 2 worthless videotapes to Fox News or some other media outlet, or this tape that we saw in court?
Listen carefully. The first tape, okay, that John Allen got on December, I think it was 11th or 12th, Okay, that was a tape that I thought was the one from the woods that I taped over it because I think there was nothing on it. Okay, there was no physical evidence of anything. Okay, no big deal. Okay, a certain party told me it's worth some money, and that the original video could be brought back. Okay, when I found out that it couldn't be brought back, it is a worthless tape.
Okay.
Then when I was going through let me finish. Then when I was going through my tapes in late December, okay, I found the tape, and as soon as I found the tape, I believe I contacted, I'm not sure, but I think I called Mr. Baez on the day I found that. I'm not sure about that, though. And then the following day, I contacted an attorney who made arrangements with John Allen and to meet with them to turn over that tape.
Okay. So you thought at least something that you might have had in your possession could be worth up to $200,000 based on information that was provided to you. Didn't turn out that way, though, right?
Let's do this again. I found the original tape. If I was going to sell it, I'd have sold it then.
All right. Now, you did find out that people were secretly taping the Anthony family, and you tried to do that yourself, didn't you?
No? What do you mean, secretly tape them?
Okay. You were trying to capitalize on your relationship with these individuals, correct?
There are no secret tapes of the Anthony family.
You were trying to capitalize on your relationship with these individuals, correct?
Nope.
At a point in time when their granddaughter is either missing or deceased.
You're so wrong.
So when you went to this location in November of 2008, would November 15th sound correct?
First day, yes, ma'am.
You're secretly taping Dominic Casey.
Secretly? No.
Okay, you're sitting in a car, correct?
For the first 20 seconds or so.
All right. And you answered a question on direct. Did Mr. Casey know you were taping him? And you said no, he didn't know.
No, I said he did. No. Yes.
Okay. So you're sitting in this car, and this car is parked where?
Well, the first time we parked, I had gone down and made a U-turn at the school, turned around, came up, parked near Suburban and Hope Spring, right about at the first pole. That was the part of the video where you see Dominic right outside the car.
May I publish him? It's Defense 63.
Yes, you may.
All right, this marking that you've made here,
Yes, ma'am.
that was the second day, correct?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Where were you the first day?
Touch the screen.
You can touch the screen, yes.
Okay, where's
I'm sorry, I can't hear you because you're behind the
Where's
screen.
Suburban on here?
His question was, where's Suburban on the diagram, photograph?
Oh, I mean Hope Spring. I'm sorry, Hope Spring. I'm sorry.
Do you know where the intersection of Hope Spring and Suburban is?
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
Okay.
But I
Can you
can't tell it.
recognize it from this photograph?
No. I recognize the area, but I don't see Hope Spring on there. Okay.
All right, let me
Okay.
zoom it back out.
Zoom back out a little bit. Okay. First.
Hold on. Do you still see the intersection of Suburban and Hope Spring?
Okay. Okay. First day we parked right about here. Oh, back a little bit.
I'm having trouble hearing you because you're not near the microphone.
Pull the microphone down.
Okay, the first day we parked near the corner of Suburban and Hope Spring. And that's where you first see Dominic getting out of the car.
And he goes into the woods or the edge of the woods, or he's walking on the road while you're videotaping him?
He was, well, first of all, he had moved when he got in my car, he had moved the cameras off the front seat, put them in the back seat. Okay, that's a start. Okay. He got out of the car, said, wait here for a minute. I had my camera, I filmed him, and then I checked the camera, checked the film. The film was, as I mentioned earlier, had a lot of off color to it. So I changed cameras and changed film, and when I looked back, I couldn't see him. And then I backed up further.
To where?
Back to car. I'm sorry.
Backed up to where?
Backed up to probably somewhere in here. And that's from the point, you can see that's where you can see Dominic in the woods initially.
Where? If you're
Where's
parked
he?
there, where is
Yeah.
he in the woods?
Probably right in here.
What do you mean probably? He either is somewhere or he isn't. Which
Well,
is it?
this isn't exact science here. You know, I'm pointing at where approximately I could see him. If you want to go down to the side, I'll show you exactly.
Is this last mark that you made in blue the area where you believe Mr. Casey was during that first videotaped segment that we viewed?
When he's in the woods, yes, ma'am.
Okay, when he's talking on the phone.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, Ms. Can you clear the items so we can be clear?
All right, do you want to mark on there, again, where you believe Mr. Casey is when he's talking on the phone?
The first time,
Yes, sir?
probably right in here. It should be down a little bit to my right.
Right, and when you returned, did you return again that day?
Yes, ma'am. We went there first. Well, we went there first, and we went to the house, and came back to the wooded area.
Right, did you come back to this same spot?
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know where he went in. Okay, I'm not sure where he came out. But when I got a car and we went in together, we were looking for 3 pavers, and that was kind of like a mark.
You're saying paver.
Pavers.
P-A-V-E-R.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And that's what we were looking for when we were walking along Suburban Drive. That was kind of like a marker. That's where we were supposed to go and start looking for the remains.
Was it in the same area?
Yes, ma'am, I believe so.
Okay, that's as best you can estimate since this isn't an exact science, as you
Well,
said.
no, from this. I'm sorry.
That's the best that you can estimate as to where you and Mr. Casey went into the woods on Suburban where you were videotaping.
Yeah, it might be a little bit further to my right, which would be down a little bit, just further toward the school, just a little bit.
Mark that area then, where you believe that you continued on during.
It's been there for almost 3 years. I think there's like 5 poles there, and I think it was like the middle one where I kind of parked the car on the second day.
Where are you counting from? The intersection of Hope Spring and Suburban, or third light pole from the end of the fence? Where are you counting from?
If you go down there, there's like 5 poles, like dot the area here, okay? Okay, I don't think there's one at the corner. I think there's one just a little ways down from the corner. This line here is inverted.
So you're saying the third light pole from the corner?
I don't think it's a light pole. It's just some kind of I think it's like a concrete pole.
And you were parked at the third one?
On the second day, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then the second day, did you end up back in this same area that you've marked in blue that I'm circling in red?
We went in just a little bit further towards, just a bit closer to Hope Spring, just maybe 10, 15 feet further, to my left towards Hope Spring.
Okay. Would that be
Closer to where the black mark is.
where the red mark is?
No, the black
Between
mark
the
where
two?
the car was.
Okay.
We went in closer. I think we went in right in front of the car.
On day 2 is what you're
Yes,
talking
ma'am.
about?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. During the videotape, you indicate or you indicated on direct examination something about a blanket or a towel. In fact, the item that was found was a bath mat, correct?
It looked like a blanket to me. I never touched it. I never picked it up.
Were you listening to the video where Mr. Casey says it's a bath mat?
Probably, I didn't hear him say bath mat.
Okay. And it is fair to say that to this day, you don't know exactly where Caylee Anthony's skull was located, correct?
No, ma'am.
To this day, you don't know exactly where any other part of her skeleton was recovered, correct?
I never saw any of it. No, ma'am.
When you were out there, did you see a red Disney bag?
I read what?
Disney bag.
No, ma'am.
It would also be fair to say that while you were out there and what is depicted on the videotape are several fallen trees in the woods, correct?
Fallen trees or logs, yeah.
You saw that when you were out there, correct?
Sure.
Okay. On your videotape is a toilet. You see a toilet while you're out there, a broken toilet?
I didn't remember the toilet. I remember a sign being on the ground. You know, it was a parking sign or what, but I remember some kind of sign right around where Dominic was probing.
Okay. And a green and white umbrella.
I don't remember a green and white umbrella.
What you did encounter once you were several feet into the woods was water, correct?
No, ma'am.
You didn't end up in any water?
No, ma'am.
Were you with Mr. Casey the whole time?
Well, we were probably like 40, 50 feet apart at the time. When we left there on the first day, we went and met with George and Cindy at the meet and greet place, and neither one was for muddy or dirty.
All right. So you didn't see any water in the woods?
The second day I did, yes, ma'am.
Okay. How far in?
How far in from the road or how far up towards Hope Spring?
How far from the road was the water?
Going into the woods, probably 15 feet or so. If you notice, we changed clothes on the second day, more suited for that area.
Okay. Did you get wet on day 2?
Clothes didn't get wet. Shoes got kind of soggy.
Okay.
More like a marsh.
Is that the only days that you were there?
15th and 16th of November, yes, ma'am.
You weren't there in October?
October?
October of 2008, you weren't there at all?
Not in the woods, no, ma'am.
Okay. You weren't there in September of 2008?
No,
August
no,
or July?
no.
I have no other questions of Mr. Hoover.
Redirect.
Mr. Hoover,
Sir?
That's being displayed, man.
it's the same thing, Judge, 63.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Hoover, you never gave me that video, did you, sir?
No, no,
You never tried to sell it to me or
nope.
anything. You and I had nothing to do with this video.
I'm sorry?
You gave it to law enforcement.
Yes, sir.
What in the world were you and Dominic Casey doing in that wooded area 1 month before Caylee was found?
Look for Caylee's remains.
I have no further questions.
Recross on those issues?
No, not on those.
Mr. Hoover be excused. Yes, sir. State?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Hoover, you're excused, subject to recall.